Good morning and welcome back to the channel Jane Reads. My name is Jeanette and today is Monday, August the 3rd, and I am kicking off another week of my Reading, Rambling, and Real Life series. Today is a holiday in Ontario, so I don't have to work today and Andrew doesn't have to work. So he's outside washing the car and I'm inside enjoying some me time, I guess. So I thought I would start out with what I am starting this week reading, and then kind of what is my plan for the day. I have lots of plans, probably not enough hours in the day. So reading, I am listening to Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie as my audiobook. I am also tandem reading this at times because there's times where the narrator just gets, I've slowed it down like a lot slower than I normally listen to audiobooks, but I'm still like, wait, what? I don't understand what's happening or who he's talking about or what's going on. So then at those points, I pick up my book and read along with the narration. The narration is definitely helping me for some of the names. Not that the names are fully really complicated, but yeah. And the narrator also has a kind of a cool accent, which I think is nice to listen to, but also is throwing off some of the names when he switches to certain characters. They're harder to understand than other ones. I am at chapter 13. I am 49%, so pretty much halfway through the book, and the murder has just happened within the last 5%. So there's a lot of build up to that before the murder actually happens. And then the murder happens, but something else happens concurrently at the same time. And so it's pretty, there's somebody that held a grudge against somebody, and then one of those people gets killed. So it's like, okay, well, it's got to be this person, but this happened. So maybe it's not that person. I just realized how dark it got. So we will keep reading this to see what happens and can I figure it out. I do have some suspicions of what's going on, but then because of the incident that happened, I'm like, oh, maybe not. Maybe it wasn't them. So I don't know. Then for my physical read, I am reading When the Smoke Clears by Lynette Eason. This is book 1 in the Deadly Reunion series, Romantic Suspense. It is a reread for me. I am buddy reading this with Caitlyn, my co-host from the Keep Me in Suspense Readathon. It is a reread for both of us. And last night during kickoff sprints, we started this and I have made it to chapter 20, page 122. And I initially read this in 2012. This was one of my very early Lynette books. And it is not coming back to me at all. I have no recall of what happened. I do have suspicions of who is behind the attacks on Alexa right now. So Alexa is a firefighter, smoke jumper who has been suspended from work. And then she returns home to South Carolina where she graduated 10 years ago, hasn't been home since. She kind of has a strained relationship with her mother and father who are not together, and then she arrives home and is not a pleasant welcome. Not with her mom. Her mom is fine. She comes across a crime. And it was like, oh my gosh. Every chapter ends on a little bit of a leading into the next chapter. I wouldn't quite say a cliffhanger, other than one of them was she looked down and screamed. And that was where the chapter ended. So what? Other ones have just been kind of leading into the next. So I just want to keep reading. So my plan is, it is 11:30 right now. So I'm going to go outside on the deck and read this for a little bit. Then come in and make lunch. We are having waffles and strawberries and whipped cream for lunch. And then I will work on editing and filming this afternoon. So now I'm going to go enjoy some of the sunshine while Andrew is out washing one of the cars. I'm gonna sit on the back deck and read. Well, it is 11:15 and I have done horrible at vlogging today. I did get my Wednesday video edited, so it's now working on exporting. And I filmed another video of my bookshelf reorganization. I don't know if you can tell what I've done. I hope that video will be up before this vlog goes up, but I don't know for sure. And right now, my library books that are checked out from the library are placeholders. As you see, I only have 3 books from the library. But I mean, that one, I didn't really need a placeholder because I wasn't putting books beside it, unlike the other ones. So yeah. So when I did my bookshelf organization, I unhauled some books. Not a ton. I actually expected to unhaul more, but I didn't. And then I ended up with room at the bottom. So I don't have to. I can go shopping, right? No, because I need to read. Fill up, because that is my red section of my bookshelves. I have my TBR shelves, which are still fairly full. I said in that video I will be filming what's on my physical TBR video at some point. I don't know when. That's not in the plan, because then I got requested to do 5-star suspense books. And so I went through my spreadsheets, because my spreadsheets go back to 2011. And so I went from 2011 to 2026, end of July. And there's 60 some books. I don't remember what the final number was, of just romantic suspense 5-star reads. That doesn't even count my mysteries. That's just romantic suspense. So I'm like, but I don't know if I want to go all the way back to 2011, obviously, because would I give them 5 stars today? If I give them 5 stars then? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do yet exactly, because I started my YouTube channel in 22. So if I did from 20 to 2026, a lot of those books are already mentioned on my YouTube channel. So I'm not really sure. I should go back and look at my original favorite suspense books and see if there's others that I can add to that, right? So I don't know. That's in the works. So basically, I filmed that video and I had 1 hour and 20 of footage. So then I started editing that one. I've got 20 minutes edited of it. It's now down to 1 hour and 5 minutes or something. So it's getting there. But I decided to pause on that to finish the weekly vlog so that I could get that exported and I can get it up. Then I created a couple of thumbnails for the weekly vlog, and I'm going to have Andrew look at them tomorrow and decide which one I should use. And yeah, and then, I did go through also my reading spreadsheet and add the settings for all my books read in 2025 and 2026. So then some other night I'll do 2024 and keep going until I don't have the settings anymore. So, I mean, I've been working at my computer for quite a while. So now I am going to sit down and read, because so far today I've only read 2 chapters in When the Smoke Clears, and I really want to make more progress in that. So that is what I'm going to do. So this is going to be my final check-in for Monday evening. It is now Tuesday after work, only 3 more work days left for this week. I love when a holiday Monday. However, it does pile the work for the Tuesday at times, but that's okay. So I have listened more to Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie. I have now made it to chapter 24. I'm 79% according to my audiobook, so I'm getting there. Can you see the bookmark? Sort of. If I had it sticking out a little bit more, right? Can you see it now? There's a murderer on the board of the ship. A few people have died. Who is going to be next? Who is behind it? I thought I kind of figured out, okay, so-and-so killed this person, but then it didn't make sense for them to kill this other, and I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea. So I will continue and see if I can figure it out. Then I am physically reading When the Smoke Clears. I did read a little bit more last night, so I made it to chapter 28, page 192. I'm hoping to finish this tonight, but I don't know, that might be stretching it. Because I'm 192 and it's 340 pages. So that's 150 pages. 142. But yeah, that might be stretching. 148. That might be stretching it. But we'll see. I do have sprints tonight that I'm hosting, so maybe. But I also I have to finalize getting Wednesday's video ready for tomorrow. And I want to work on some editing of the video I filmed yesterday. See. But right now it is a beautiful day outside and supper is still cooking. So I am going to go sit on the deck. We are having sloppy joes for supper with tater tots. So I will throw those in the oven shortly. Sloppy joes are in the crock pot. And so I'm going to enjoy the outside. Sloppy joes and tater tots.
Or is it Sloppy Andy?
No.
No? Okay.
Well, it is 25 after 11 on Tuesday, and I just signed off of sprints, and I made good progress in When the Smoke Clears. I have made it to page 302, chapter 40, and there are 44 chapters plus an epilogue, and 340 pages. So I have 38 pages left to read. I am going to stay up and finish this, of course. Like, really, I'm so close to the end. And we need to know who is after Alexa and why. What? Yeah, I suspect one person still. But I'm like, I don't know. Maybe? I don't know, because they seem to have been cleared by the police, but I don't know. But I still think it's one of two people. And they're kind of heading towards one other person. And I'm like, yeah, they might have a motive, but I don't think they're behind everything. So I don't know. We will see. But I'm going to finish this and then I will let you know my final thoughts tomorrow because I just want to lie down and finish this and head to bed. So that is the check-in for Tuesday evening. It is now Wednesday evening. I went to work today, came home, sat on the deck and read for a little bit, had supper. We just had leftover sloppy joes and tater tots. And we've done a load of laundry. We always do a load of laundry on Wednesdays and then another load sometime on the weekend, either Saturday or Sunday, depending what the schedule is. But the Wednesday is kind of the routine for sure, kind of midweek and then on the weekend. And yeah, so now Andrew's outside watering our plants and I thought, well, this is the perfect time to update you on my reading. So last night, I finished When the Smoke Clears by Lynette Eason, and I loved it once again. And I figured out who the person was that was kind of behind a lot of the events happening in Alexa's life. And I don't know if I was suspicious of that person like subconsciously because this was a reread for me, but I read it in 2012, so 14 years ago. So I didn't remember majority of what happened. So that's why I'm thinking maybe subconsciously I'm like, I don't trust this person. However, this is a book that carries on. There are stuff that was happening in this kind of behind what's happening to Alexa that is unanswered. And it's like, okay, we need to read book 2 and book 3 because we know that that's going to carry the story because there were three girls that have kind of been targeted and Alexa is one of the two. And we know that from this story. And in the next 2 books follow the other 2 girls. So I expect to see Alexa quite a bit in the other 2, but I don't know for sure. As I said, it was 2012 when I read this series, so I don't remember. I've read quite a few books since then. So yeah, this is a 5-star read for me. I loved it. I loved how every chapter kind of led into the next chapter, so I didn't want to put it down. But they weren't so much of a cliffhanger that I could put it down if I needed to. And the relationship between the characters felt very real. Somebody has a prejudice against somebody else because of something somebody has told them about that person. And it just felt very real. But then they talk about things and talk things through. There's a moment when Hunter prays with Alexa, and I really like that aspect of it. Yeah, I'm very curious, though, what's going on with Chad in some ways. Do we see more of him? Does he kind of redeem a little bit of his storyline? Because I don't remember. But yeah, I cannot wait to continue this series. But I have a lot of books on my August TBR to read first, so I can't binge it like I did back in 2012 because I am focusing on my TBR books. So yeah, so that is When the Smoke Clears, and I highly encourage you to give this series a try. But I'm also going to tell you now, make sure you have all 3 books so that you can binge them. Trust me, I will be reading it shortly. Oh, and I do have a quote I want to share with you. There is a bunch of faith talked about in this, like picking up a Bible, reading it, people leaving verses for somebody, talking about like, is God against me or not? Like, does God have it out for me? And then realizing, no, God's not like that. And the quote is, God can do amazing things when he has a willing heart to work with. Okay, so that is my first official book for August, and that is my reread for the Keep Me in Suspense bingo board. Then today on audio, I finished Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie, and I had figured it out. I am so proud of myself. And yeah, I was like, I am pretty sure these two are working in cahoots together. And I'm pretty sure this is the motive and stuff. So I figured out the main part of it, but then like, why did that happen? And why did that happen? That's what I hadn't figured out and tied everything together. But I mean, the main storyline I figured out, and I'm so proud of myself for figuring it out because I debated at certain times like, oh, well, if that happened, then it couldn't have been. Oh, but right? Like, yeah, I'm so happy. So I'm going to give this book 4 stars because there's a lot of lead up to the murder actually happening, like 45% is where we are when the murder finally happens. Like, I mean, you know it's going to happen if you read any of the description. Plus, I mean, the title has death in there. Somebody's going to die, right? So there's a lot of lead up to that, and the lead up took me quite a while to get into the story and figure out who certain characters were and stuff. So for that reason, it's not a 5-star read. I don't know if I had been only reading it physically rather than the audio, if that would have changed, I would have enjoyed it more. Probably not, because there was still a lot of lead up to it. But now I have read it. I've read my second Agatha Christie, and I have 2 more on my shelves that I own. So yeah, it is a 4-star read for me, and I'm very intrigued to watch the movie and kind of get actors for these people, these characters that I've met. We'll see if I actually watch it because I don't have it available anywhere for free that I know of. So we'll see if a watch thing actually happens or not. I don't know where this is going to go on the bingo board because it could go in a couple different places. We've got a law enforcement character with Poirot being a detective. We've got a mystery because it's a mystery. It's got a book I own, a book I've wanted to read because, it's one of my 10 self-destruct books. I think I only have 1 book left from that list. And it's a book that I purchased prior to 2020, so that marks off another one on that list I need to get read. So yeah, there's quite a few that it will fit. It doesn't, well, it's also a series book, but I'm not going to put it in the series book. I have other series books to read. So yeah, this will fit a lot of the prompts. So I don't know where I'm going to put it yet. So then, because I finished that book, I did not start another audiobook at work when I finished that one. I was watching some YouTube or playing some YouTube videos in the background instead. So I watched Julia from Rudy Reading, and I watched Alma from Alma's Book Journey, a couple of their recent videos. And then somebody came in and we were doing some work and stuff. So, I mean, I was working before because I was cataloging the library. It's a long process. I have 14 shelves done and I have 15 shelves to go just in the fiction section alone, or the adult fiction section. That's not even correct because we have men's fiction in a separate, so that's like another, then children's fiction, then biographies, then, right? Like nonfiction, all that. So, I mean, I might be a quarter of the way through, if that. Yeah. So anyways, when I came home from work, I picked up The Green Dress by Liz Tolsma. I do have this on audio as well, but I'm currently reading it physically because I'm going to focus on one book now and just tandem read it between whether I can read physically or whether I can read or listen to an audio. So that is my plan. At this point in time, I've only read 2 chapters. Yeah. So I've read chapter 1 and chapter 2. Hence, I've only read 2 chapters. And this is part of the True Colors series. So it's fiction based on strange but true history. And it says death plagues the Robinson family. So this is set in Boston, or just outside Boston, in February of 1886. And we are following Harriet, who is a dressmaker, maybe? She runs a milliner's, or maybe she was making a hat. She gets a letter that her friend Lizzie is really sick. She goes to see Lizzie, and then she brings in a local doctor who has a shop, just his business is a couple doors down from her shop, and they are trying to figure out what's wrong with Lizzie. And that's basically where we are right now. Harriet is sitting by Lizzie's bedside, and the doctor has given her some medication. That's all I know, but I'm very intrigued. I've immediately what is going on? What's happened? I already like Harriet, and I don't know. So we will see what happens. So as I said, I'm very early in this book, but that is The Green Dress. So tonight I need to film my July summary. I would like to work on editing either the July summary when I get it filmed or my bookshelf video, because I don't know which video I'm going to put up first. I mean, whichever one gets edited first probably is the one that's going to go up first. And Lucy is doing sprints for the end of summer readathon, so I'm hoping to be able to pop in for some of that. So we will see what this evening entails. It is Thursday evening now, and Andrew came home with some iced coffees today. So that was really nice. So I'm going to enjoy it this evening. We had beef, broccoli, and what was it called? I guess it's just called beef and broccoli that I did in the slow cooker. Then I just made some rice and we served the beef broccoli mix over the rice with some sesame seeds on the top. It was really good. Except I think I need to have more meat next time, but that's okay. We have had it before. I guess I just had less meat this time. I don't know. Whatever. So that was tonight's supper. Then I was kind of battling a headache, so I just kind of sat down and watched some TV and just kind of rested a bit. I don't know how much I really watched. But today at work, I was by myself and I was able to listen to my audiobook as I was working on cataloging some of the library and stuff. and I made really good progress in the green dress. I was shocked when I looked to see how far I was, and when I went to go move my little bookmark, which is actually my library receipt, I'm at 95%. I am on chapter 28, and which is page 236, and there is 247. Oh wow. I have 11 pages left. I should have just read them and then checked in with you, but I guess I'll be back very shortly. I really like this. So for this one, we are following Harriet, who is a friend of the Robinson family. At the very beginning, she gets called to the house because her best friend Lizzie is really ill and she's there trying to help nurse her. Then somebody else in the house gets sick, and then somebody else in the house gets sick. And we also learned that multiple people from the family, like brother-in-law, sister-in-law, and spouse, like they've all gotten sick and passed away over a course of a number of years. And so the book covers, I think it starts in February and we're in August now. And so there's a time period in between. And so it doesn't make sense that certain people are getting sick so many months later, because like if that person brought something home, everybody in the house would got it, but then didn't. So like there's something suspicious going on. And there is this local doctor that is trying to figure out what is going on, has become friends with Harriet. But there's another doctor involved that's like, no, like this is right. And so kind of pushing this local doctor off and saying he's young and because of his family history, he can't be trusted and stuff. But maybe it's the older doctor that can't be trusted. Or is it the main female in the house that can't be trusted? Like, what is going on? And right now, we're at a very pivotal moment where I think things are going to start to be revealed. Because, like, Harriet, our main character, comes into the room and says, I want to hear what's being said. Because I feel like something's going to be revealed now. But I've really connected to Harriet, like immediately. I really like this young doctor. And so, yeah, I'm really enjoying this, very invested. And it doesn't seem as dark as The Yellow Lantern, which I read recently in this series. But it's still, I mean, dark because we're dealing with illness and what's causing this illness and close people being really sick, like on death's door, like what's going on. So I'm going to go read my 11 pages that I didn't realize that was all I had. And then I will be starting my next book. I finished it. I mean, as I said, I only had 11 pages. I loved it. I loved it. I was so hooked and invested in this story with Harriet trying to figure out what's going on, her heart to protect the younger kids in this household. I was so scared for her for moving into the house and what is going to happen to her. And then the persistence of the young doctor, Dr. Michael Whedon, to determine like what is going on, even though some of the other people, the other adults in the household tried to push him off because there was another doctor working. He was determined to figure this out. And I loved their determination and the way they worked together. And yes, they fought a little bit about, well, you know, one idea was presented and somebody was like, no, that can't be it, like whatever, right? And so they had a disagreement, but they worked through it and talked it out. And I really loved it. The thing that I also really appreciated is that there's a conclusion to the story. We know what happened to one of the people that gets arrested in the end. Unlike a lot of the True Color book that I've read don't have like a conclusion, kind of leaves hanging because they never caught the person, or they knew but they had no way to prove it and stuff. There's the conclusion. I was so happy. So yeah, I highly recommend this. give it a try. It is not as dark as some of the other ones that I have read. I mean, it can be because there's people sick and not surviving the sickness. And so there's like some sinister stuff happening, but it's not fully described and stuff. There is like vomiting that happens, but it's not like, you know, they emptied the contents of the stomach. Like, it's not described that it was, you know, what the vomit looked like or anything like that. Like, it's not descriptive. So yeah, highly recommend. Really enjoyed. This is 247 pages, so it could fit under the under 250 prompt there. I could also use it as a favorite author because Liz Tolsma has quickly become a favorite author for me. It is not a book I own. Obviously, it's from the library. A book I want to read could fit there. So, I mean, I have a few different prompts I could put it in for. I'll be very interested to see what my bingo board looks at the end of the month. So, because a lot of my books fit in multiple prompts. So yeah, so that is the one I'm finishing. And now I'm going to start Nightfall by Nancy Mehl. I also have this on audio, so I'm going to tandem this one as well. This is book 1 of the Quantico Files series. I'll just read the little description at the top. For any little boy, oh, this is the one with that weird poem. Okay. For any little boy or girl who hears the train man speak, who feels his rancid breath caress their pretty cheek, must close their eyes, pretend to sleep, and very softly pray, or else the evil trained man may carry them away. That doesn't tell me anything about the actual story. Finally free from her troubled upbringing, Alex is able to live out her childhood dream of working for the FBI. But soon after, she becomes a member of the FBI's elite behavioral analysis unit. Authorities in Missouri contact them about bodies found on freight trains, all killed in the same way. See? But before I start that, I have M's sprints on in the background. And so I just realized I left it playing, so you might hear little bird sounds or something. I'm not sure if it would pick that up. But during the sprints, I'm also working on Saturday's video. I was editing yesterday. I was gonna film, but I edited another video that I had filmed already. And I just decided to switch my schedule up. I'm gonna put this one up Wednesday, do the other one for Tuesday, maybe. I mean, I haven't even filmed the other one yet. But then I went to export it after I finished editing and my computer crashed. And it was like, oh my gosh, like freaky. Turned it back on, it worked fine. I started the export again and what in the... So I did a couple things, did a couple of research, started like, what is causing this? Because it came back on, not a problem. So then I started the export again, and then I walked away because I was like getting late. I'm like, I cannot wait and see. Like, I just didn't do anything else on my computer while I was exporting. And so I'm like, okay. So this evening, I finally went back to the computer and looked, and it worked. Thank you. So I think I know what the issue was that was causing the crash. So now I hopefully know how to avoid it in the future. We'll see, hopefully. So I'm going to get that video finalized for Saturday. And then I think tomorrow night I will film the other video, Will Andrews at his haircut, because I just don't feel like doing it tonight. I really just want to read, even though I'm pretty much read all day. But I mean, I did other stuff as well because I was listening to an audiobook. But yeah, so that is my plan for this evening. And because my computer's on, that's the reflection that's happening in the glasses. So yeah, that is my update for Thursday evening. I will check in again tomorrow. It is Friday after work now, and when I get to our house, Andrew's car's not in the driveway, and I was like, So then I'm like, where could he be? And I come in the house, and there's some envelopes sitting on the table with a little note that says, you know where I am. And I'm like, yep, I know where you are. As soon as I saw the envelopes, I was like, yep, totally. He's so predictable in some ways. So I thought, well, I can update you quickly because I did not do it after work like I normally do on Friday afternoons sitting in my car. It is muggy outside. It looks like it's going to rain, and it just felt so muggy leaving the office to get to my car, and I'm like, I'm not sitting out here. So today I've continued in Nightfall by Nancy Mehl. Once again, I was alone in the office. I mean, the boss is away for 4 days. That is why. So I made pretty good progress. I'm at 57%, chapter 24. And I didn't have a bookmark for this because normally I use like my prompt cards for the bookmarks, but because this was my spinner wheel at the end, I didn't have a prompt card. And I was like, I know what I can use. So I used my 26 and 26 scratch card for the bookmark. Why have I not been doing that all along? Whatever. So we are following Alex, who is an FBI agent. She works in the behavioral analyst unit, and her task force has been called in about some killings that are happening around a train. And then it kind of leads back to that Train Man poem that I read at the beginning that's really creepy and just kind of keeps getting creepy. And it turns out there's this kind of religion cult sect that believe in angel and where everybody's born as an angel or a demon, and they have their book that is just called The Book. It's too revered to be given a title, so it's referred to as The Book. And Alex is familiar with this because she lived at her aunt's place after her mother died, who she lived with. Her father, we don't really know where he is. She moved in with her aunt at the age of 12, I think it was. And then her aunt was very much into this and talking about it and stuff. So like Alex recognized it from the book. And wow, so she goes to her aunt's, and she doesn't have the best relationship with her aunt. She's been away for a number of years. She goes to her aunt's to try to find the book, and stuff starts happening. And not great stuff. Then we are getting the killer's point of view. At least I'm pretty sure. The FBI, pretty sure he's the killer. It's not an unknown suspect. They're saying it is so-and-so. And then we get so-and-so's point of view. And we are pretty sure, like from his point of view, yeah, he's responsible. But why? And the fact, like, his wife is supporting him in this. Does she realize exactly what he's doing? I don't know. Just so twisted. And this is written after COVID. And they're talking about a virus that's being stolen from a lab, an active virus, and it could be like airborne virus, and it could be worse than anything they've ever seen, and transmitted much easier than COVID and stuff. And so there's a few mentions about COVID and kind of that kind of stuff, but it's not overdone. And so I'm okay with that. The first time they mentioned COVID, I was like, oh, it's not going to be one of those books. But it hasn't been really. It's more figuring out this religion and, trying to find the person responsible. So yeah, I am really enjoying it. And so I said I was on chapter 24. I'm on page 188, and there's 328 pages, it looks like. And we've got Alex, who's also working very closely with another FBI agent, Logan, who is a Christian. Alex is not a Christian, doesn't follow this other religion either. So I expect her to become a Christian through Logan, but I don't know. We'll see. So I'm going to keep reading this over the weekend. I will flip between audio and physically reading it because it is the only book I am currently reading. I love having one book to focus on. That is so me. So today we have to go grocery shopping at some point, but Andrew has a haircut tonight. So I'm going to try to film my July summary video. I was like, what month? Tonight, because I've really slacked off on it by dealing with the other video and then my computer issues. I was like, I just don't feel like doing it. So I'm going to do that tonight. So I'm not quite sure when we're going to go grocery shopping because the appointment, his hair appointment, really throws off our normal schedule. It doesn't normally have a haircut Friday nights, and we normally go grocery shopping Friday nights. So we will see what happens. But really, that's the plan as of right now. Okay, so it is Friday evening now. We've had supper, And Andrew picked up some A&W because we had A&W coupons. Yay. However, for some reason, my burger dripped. And normally I'm not a messy eater, but it dripped. And it got on my blanket that I had on my lap and on my shirt. So that, along with our load of lights, is in the washing machine right now. Andrew's gone off to his hair appointment and he's just going to grab groceries while he's out. So I am going to film my July reading summary video. So I can't even grab them. I brought my books upstairs to do that and my reading journal. And I realized there's 2 reviews. There was actually 3. I've already completed one that I did not write the review for. So now I'm watching my video back from my vlog where I talk like the final thoughts to kind of remind me so that I can write that. Then I can film that video. That is what I'm going to do. It is Saturday evening and I have not checked in all day. It has been a pretty relaxing day. And I kind of looked at the clock and I was like, where did the time go? So we got up this morning, made some freezer meals, basically some chicken ones, so that we had some variety in the freezer because a lot of our freezer meals were beef. So now we've got some chicken as well, so we can like kind of every other meal mix it up a little bit. So we did 3 of those. Then we had lunch. And then I just worked on my reading journal and kind of watched some YouTube, really relaxed. We did do a load of laundry because Andrew cut the grass this morning. Then we did a load of laundry and it poured rain this afternoon. I am so glad that we did not have plans to go out because it was pouring. Then I made supper and now Andrew has gone over to his friend's house who has a car shop and they really just hang out there, him and the 2 sons that are early 20s, and they just hang out for the evening. Go do whatever you want. So now I've got the house to myself and I'm kind of like, what do I do? Do I film a video? Do I edit a video? Do I read? What do I do? So I'm not quite sure. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. I was thinking about filming a video because I do have a plan for a pretty easy video to film because I don't really have to talk about the books. But I don't know if I will film that tonight or not because there is also another video I want to film, but I'll have to put some thinking into that one. So we will see. I could just edit the video I filmed last night. That might be the smartest plan because I also have to edit this vlog at some point. So that might be the smartest plan, but we'll see what happens. For reading wise, I've not done a lot of reading today. I am now on chapter 30 because I did listen to the audiobook as I was getting ready this morning, and I am really enjoying this. And yeah, so we will see. I have a suspicion of a certain person that maybe we shouldn't be trusting them, but I don't know why I suspect them. Like, I can't explain it. I get this feeling, I don't know about them, but they're not the suspect that has been named. Are they pursuing the right person, or is it somebody else and it's this guy? Or am I just like reading into things that aren't really there? I don't know. We will see. Maybe I will finish this tonight. Maybe I will read. I don't know yet. I will check back in and let you know what I end up doing. Well, I'm pretty much in the same spot I was earlier because I haven't moved from my computer. I edited the summary video that I filmed last night, and it is ready to be posted to YouTube to go live on Tuesday. So we'll be up before this one. Then I worked on updating my reading journal and finally adding some book covers to some of the pages. And I just realized I think I missed a page actually, but I added some book covers for previous, no, where's my April, right? For the ones that were missing. As you can see, there's a book cover I need to print. Now I'm wondering though, I have this page, not that page, this page. I'm like, I wonder if I have any of these. I didn't even look here to see if these ones were printed. I need to check that. But while I was doing that, I listened to Nightfall, and I kind of wish I was recording myself a bit when we got near the end, because there was a reveal that happened that was totally what I was expecting. And as soon as it was like revealed, I was like, yes, I was right. Like, it was just like, yeah, I totally saw that coming. But there was another part that I had not seen coming at all. And when it was like, oh, wow, okay. So, I mean, I was totally invested in this and what was going on. Totally invested, and definitely listening to it added to my experience of it. I did read physically some of this, like, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 chapters. Majority of it was audio. And so I really enjoyed my experience with this. It kept me guessing what was going to happen. Could they catch the guy in time and stop? Because he's trying to kill a third of the world's population. How is he going to do that? And will they be able to stop him in time? And then we are following Alex, who is not a Christian and has had a really tough upbringing, some really horrific stuff that she's experienced, and she's dealing with PTSD from those experiences. And then we have Logan, who is a Christian and is trying to share God with Alex, but like not be pushy. His nickname in the FBI team is Preacher. And so it just felt realistic, very realistic. There's also a scene where the bad guy is in church at one point, listening to the preacher. And that just, I loved that scene. Loved it. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. I think I'm giving it 4.5 stars. Because there were some things that I would have liked a little bit more for. Not a ton. I don't know. Is 4.5 too hard, or should I just give it 5? Because I really liked it. But the Train Man poem, like that prologue scene, freaky. And the Train Man poem is read a number of times throughout, and the references to COVID-19, I just don't care about that. Didn't want to hear that. I feel like it dates the book a little bit, but it also like, it's kind of like us looking back on SARS, right? Now we look back on COVID-19. So in some ways it also felt normal to have that reference, because like something in your state of mind, right? Now, if there's another pandemic that happens, which we really hope there isn't, then, you know, that would be what we'd refer to rather than COVID-19, right? So yeah, I definitely want to continue the series. I know that we follow Alex again in the next book, and there is a little hint to a romance in this, but it is definitely not a romance at all. Like, yeah, there's no, like, there might be a hand being held, but that's about it. There's no kissing that happens, nothing. And I'm very curious to see what's going to happen, because I suspect a relationship will happen, but it doesn't in this book. And as we follow Alex in the next book, will we have a relationship for Alex? The other thing is, there is mention of cancer. There's mention of suicide. There's mention of a cult trying to destroy a third of the population. Like, there's some tough stuff stuff mentioned in this, and some of it is kind of mentioned very quickly and kind of passed over. So I think that's why I feel like it needs to come down a bit, because it might be better if it was dealt with in some ways. But maybe that will be in the next book, right? Because we're still following this character. So we will see. But now that I finished this book, it was a 26 and 26 book. And if you've been following along on my 26 and 26 journey, you know that this is a scratch card. So I need to scratch it and put it on my 26 in 26 sheet. I still want to refer to it as a bingo card, but it is not. So this is what the board looks like right now. Will it go here and complete this line, or will it work towards this line? Be really interesting if it's here and I only have this one left, but maybe it'll go up here. We will see what happens. Let's go to the overhead view and scratch the card and see where the cover goes. Okay, let's scratch. It is number 11. So it is going to help me complete this line. Okay, it went up here, number 11. So that is my 4th suspense book for the week, for this month. So I am going to go in a different direction and do a little bit lighter read, and I am going to start Second Chance Summer by Irene Hannon. This is a contemporary romance. It's 230 some pages. Where they're not looking for romance, from my understanding is, and it is a contemporary romance, so they're gonna find romance. That's about all I know about it at this moment. I know I read the description at some point, but it's not coming back to me. So that I'm going to start on my Kindle, because I have to get it from Kindle Unlimited. And for my audiobook tomorrow, I'm not starting an audiobook tonight, I will be starting What I Left for You by Liz Tolsma, because I was hoping to read this in July, but I couldn't get the book and I couldn't get the audiobook. Well, now I've got the book from the library and I've got the audiobook. So because this book is due back on the 22nd of August, I'm going to read this. And also because I don't have any other audiobooks on my August TBR. This is not officially on my August TBR, so that is why I'm going to start it. And this is a dual timeline. Really, the library barcode is right over the tagline at the top of the book. So it's 1942. And I think it is Germany. When the Germans closed the first Jews into the ghetto. I don't know. And then 2023. So once I start it, I will tell you where it's, unless it tells me at the beginning. Oh, Poland. The one is Poland anyway. So we will see. So that is what I'm going to start on audio tomorrow. And I'm going to start Second Chance Summer tonight. It is Sunday now, and after church today, we went to the mall because Andrew needed to go to Canadian Tire to pick up some light bulbs for his car. They're turn signal lights. Yeah, let's try to break them. Then we went to Winners, which is like a TJ Maxx, Marshalls type store, Canadian. And we found some coffee. And it was like, oh, they got the fall flavors out now. So we got a caramel pumpkin swirl. We got Vermont maple and pumpkin latte. I'm like, might as well stock up while they're available, right? And then I didn't show you the other day when Andrew went to A&W, he picked up a little bear, and he's going to show you his little toy that he came home with.
Okay, I'll creep down a little bit.
I can raise it.
Oh, you can raise this?
No, I can raise the camera.
Oh, raise the camera.
Shrink.
Well, I thought it'd be cool to raise a little bear. Anyways, well, the restaurant called A&W Root Beer, I picked up a couple combos, and for $4.99 I picked up a little friend, which I'll keep in my car, the A&W Root Beer, because people at work drink...
It's called Rudy.
Rudy.
It's the name on the box.
Okay. But people at work drink regular beer, but I drink a different kind of beer. I only drink root beer once in a while, because that's what I do once in a while.
Okay.
Yeah. And yesterday, Amazon dropped off. My car needed some new headlights because they are so faded and they're 14 years old. And I've done everything I can. I've sanded them. I've put on different products, but they weren't coming clear anymore. So they were beyond repair. So Jeanette ordered some headlights. So I had them installed and found out to install those headlights, you have to remove the front bumper. So anyway, so that was last night's project. And I found out I replaced the 2 headlight bulbs, and now I need 2 bulbs for the turn signals. So, because they were almost burnt out. But yeah, so I'll probably do that this afternoon. That'll be so easy to install these compared to putting in headlights. But yeah, so anyways, that's what we're up to. And I think
it's time to make lunch.
Oh, that sounds good. I'm not sure what she's got planned, but food is always good. So anyways, take care. Bye.
Sunday afternoon. I've taken off my jacket because I am leaving air conditioning and I'm going to sit on the deck and read for a while. I'm just waiting for my coffee to finish brewing. I did not start Second Chance Summer last night. I ended up watching some TV instead, which is perfectly fine. So Second Chance Summer says, neither is looking for love, but what if it comes calling when they least expect it? So we've got art teacher Rachel and ex-Navy SEAL Jack, who meet on a sunny Georgia Barrier Island. Ooh, that sounds nice. Thanks to a lovable golden retriever, it almost seems like fate. What are they doing on this island? I'm very, very curious. So that is what I'm going to read physically. And then for my audiobook this morning, I went a different direction because I had my hold come in for Break of Day by Colleen Coble. And I've had this on hold for months and it finally came in. I'm like, it is Suspense month, so let's continue with Suspense. And this will finish a series because it's book 3 in the Annie Pedersen series. And it's a 26 and 26 book, so there's a scratch card for it. I made it to chapter 5, so I read 4 chapters this morning, listened to 4 chapters this morning. I am on page 34. So I don't really have much thoughts. We're very early. Because it is book 3, I also don't want to say much because it's following Annie and John from the beginning. Like book 1, we are following the same characters. It just seems like there's going to be like another case happening and it might relate to one of the cases from book 1, I think. I don't know. There was a scene, the very first chapter was not an Annie scene or a John scene. There was another person completely. And I'm very curious what's going to happen. But that's kind of the way book 1 started as well, following somebody else. And it ended up being the case that Annie worked. So I kind of expect that same thing. So we will see what happens. But this is what I'm going to be listening to on audio. And I'm only listening to this on audio right now because I'm going to physically read Second Chance Summer. Now, is my coffee done? I pulled out my best friend's mug for for Christine in Alberta and me in Ontario. She made this for me a number of years ago. I don't know exactly when, but yeah, so this is what I'm going to enjoy my coffee on the deck with. It is Sunday evening. I'm coming in to close out this vlog. I have worked on editing this video and I was very chatty this week, so I'm going to keep this very short, hopefully. I had a great start to the Keep Me in Suspense Readathon. I finished 4 suspense books. So the first one I finished was When the Smoke Clears by Lynette Eason. It's book 1 of the Deadly Reunion series. It was a 5-star read. I finished Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie. It was a 4-star read. I finished The Green Dress by Liz Tolsma. It's a historical suspense, and this was a 5-star read. And then I finished Nightfall by Nancy Mehl, which is a suspense with pretty much no romance. And I am between a 4.5 and a 5-star read. It'll probably appear as 5-star on my Goodreads. So yeah, amazing week. I did start Second Chance Summer, which is not a suspense, and I'm at chapter 5, 28%. I will talk about that in next week's vlog. And I also started Break of Day by Colleen Coble, which is a suspense, romantic suspense. It is book 3 in the Annie Pedersen series. And I'm just checking my phone. I am 20% into that, but I left the book upstairs. Just starting chapter 9. And again, I will talk about that next week because I will be much further into it. So yeah, it was an amazing start to this week. And so I'm going to close out the vlog here. And really the highlight was keep me in suspense, reading suspense, having an awesome reading week. I mean, 3 5-stars in 1 week. One was a reread. So, I mean, it was kind of almost a guaranteed 5-star because it was a 5-star initially. And I'm just realizing, that's funny. Let's try that. Okay, so that is my week. Please tell me what your highlight from this week was. I would love to chat in the comments. And if you're not feeling chatty, just do a book stack because I had an amazing reading week. Or actually, if you want to do 5 stars, because I mean, I had pretty much 3 5-star books. That's awesome. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.